Welcome back, artists. Now that we have our plan finished, you can grab yourself a piece of plastic canvas, a needle, and then you're gonna pick some yarn. Now, while I was picking up my yarn, I noticed that the yellow green and the yellow that we have are really kind of close together. I think what I'm going to decide as an artist is that I'm gonna take out the yellow and I'm gonna switch it with white. So wherever I see yellow on here, I'm going to use white. And I'm going to actually start with the main subject. And then you'll do the background after that. So I'm gonna do my dark green. I would say 2 feet is probably about as far as you want to have. The 2 tiles on the floor. And then I'm going to do the fold, pinch, and wiggle method to get the yarn on the needle. So I fold it over the needle. I pinch it really tight so you can hardly see that there's yarn there. And then I wiggle it over the top. And you'll see how this sort of fold comes through, and you grab that loop and you pull until you get just 1 string on there. We are not tying a knot on here, and we are also not tying a knot on the back. My first job is to figure out where I'm starting. So when I planned this, I decided to leave 4 boxes on the corner, and then I'm going to start. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where I'm going to be starting. So I'm going to put my needle through that box that is 2 in and 2 down from the corner. And then I'm going to pull until most of the yarn is through, not all of it. We're going to leave this tail. And then I'm going to hold the tail in the direction of my color. So if you look over here, my Y goes this direction. So that's where I'm going to be putting my green. I'm going to start by doing a diagonal. So my yarn is on top, so that means my needle needs to come down from the top. And the continental is a diagonal stitch. So I'm going diagonal. So if this is the box I was in, I'm going to go kitty corner down to the next box. Now while I'm on the back, I'm going to complete another one. So I have to come up through this one. And notice how the yarn is there. When I come up, I'm actually covering up the yarn in the back. So this is how we get rid of our tails. We cover them up. The other thing I need to do is count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slants. So here's 1, 2, and then come up. This is number 3. 4. Oops, and this got into a little knot. If that happens, the last thing you want to do is pull tight, because you're just going to make the knot worse. So I need to just start to wiggle the yarn loose, maybe work on getting that loop out, and untangle it. If I had pulled it tight, it would have made a really tight knot, which would have been harder to get out. So I have 3, this is stitch number 4, and this is number 5. Now I have completed this row. Count down here, I'm going to do another stitch. This is diagonally over here, and then I'm going to do 1 less when I come back. So I'm not going to go all the way to here. I'm going to stop at this one. So to go down to my next row, instead of coming back up here, I'm going to go down so that I can come back up. Notice that when you are filling in your blocks, I am using the same hole that I was doing in my other row. So now I'm going down, and then I'm coming up and using that same hole that my first row was in. We're not leaving spaces in between. We're filling this up completely. So now I have, this is 3, 4, and 5. And I'm just going to continue to do this until I have my whole Y done. So